first to appear is Xueqi, widely regarded as the #1 heroine of cultivation web novels and the unforgettable first love of an entire generation. She is one of the rare female leads who rises to extraordinary strength through her own talent and determination, rather than relying on the male protagonist, often seen as the highest benchmark for female character writing, with many later web novel heroines clearly influenced by her image. Xueqi, a landmark Xiao novel that began serialization in 2003, is widely regarded as a foundational work that shaped the creative conventions of online fantasy fiction set in the vast land of Qingzhu. It follows the journey of Zhang Xiaofeng, an ordinary boy from Grass Temple Village at the foot of Qingzhu Mountain, as he steps into a world of cultivation and destiny. Xueqi, the foremost disciple of the Qingzhu sect, is gifted beyond her peers, cold and otherworldly in beauty, and a true standout among the younger generation. Her feelings for Zhang Xiaofeng are restrained yet unwavering, running through the entire story as an emotional thread that deeply moves the reader. Once a proud prodigy blessed by fate, she is gradually touched by Zhang Xiaofeng's resilience and integrity, developing a quiet respect that turns into love. During their trials, they fall into an abyss together, where Zhang Xiaofeng risks his life to draw poison from her body. Later, by the sea, they stand hand in hand against powerful enemies, their unspoken trust and mutual support in the depths of darkness rapidly deepening their bond. On a stormy night at Liubo Mountain, she silently keeps him company as he kneels in punishment. And during the tribunal at Yuqing Hall, she even defies her master's orders, staking her own life to vouch for him, revealing the depth of her devotion. When Zhang Xiaofeng later becomes greedy after Biyu's death and joins the demonic path, she remains with the Qingzhu sect, rejecting all arranged marriages and declaring that she has given her life to one man alone and will never regret it, firmly believing that his true nature has not been lost. Over the following years, the two repeatedly meet as enemies on opposing sides of righteousness and evil, yet instinctively hold back against each other and come to one another's aid in moments of mortal danger. In the Battle of the Southern Border, her sword reaches his throat, but she cannot bring herself to strike, while he saves her without hesitation when she falls from a cliff. Their love grows stronger through conflict and restraint, and in the demon-subduing ancient cave, facing the deadly threat of the Beast God and the 8 Desolation Fire Dragon, she casts aside all notions of right and wrong and confesses that she is willing to die with him, saying she has no greater wish, a single line that lays bare her heart. In the moment they embrace, the final barrier between them collapses and their feelings are fully shared. After the war between good and evil, she attempts to end her life to avoid being controlled by the blood array of the 4 spirits, only to be saved by Zhang Xiaofeng, who then activates the Zhushan sword formation to defeat the Ghost King and bring an end to the catastrophe that swept across the land. The two are separated in the aftermath, with Xueqi eventually becoming the head of Shaoju Peak, and years later, in the long-haunting Grass Temple Village, she reunites with the Zhang Xiaofeng, who has finally let go of his obsessions, and from that moment on they remain together, their love, forged across the divide of good and evil and tempered by endless trials, settling at last into a quiet and enduring peace. The second to take the stage is the most iconic figure of physical beauty in fantasy fiction, praised for having the most celebrated waist-to-hip ratio in the genre and the gold standard of animation character modeling, the ideal girlfriend figure in the eyes of many male fans, the Little Dr. Fairy. The Little Dr. Fairy is one of Xiaoyan's most important emotional companions in the story, born with a calamity poison body, a lethal constitution that spiraled out of control in her childhood and led to the death of her family and the destruction of her village. After years of wandering, she settled in Qing Mountain Town as a healer, where she first met Xiaoyan in the Beast Mountain range, and the two became allies while gathering herbs and fighting enemies together. When Xiaoyan discovered her poisoned body in a cave, he did not fear or reject her, but instead offered trust and protection in his words, "You are my only friend," completely melted her guarded heart and gave rise to a deep affection that she would carry for the rest of her life. Her love was never expressed through demands or possession, but through silent devotion and constant protection. After leaving Xiaoyan, tragedy struck again when her poison body erupted and caused the death of the elderly man who had taken her in, pushing her to become the Poison Queen and establish the Poison Sect. Later, manipulated by the Hall of Souls, she was driven to attack Xiaoyan's homeland, only to be recognized by him on the battlefield. After their reunion, she remained by his side without ever leaving, and when Xiaoyan was gravely injured, she cared for him day and night despite the severe backlash of her poisoned body. From then on, she followed him through countless battles that balanced on the edge of life and death. And although her love for him was profound, unwavering, and proven again and again through her willingness to sacrifice herself for him, she kept these feelings hidden in her heart, choosing to remain only his closest companion rather than claim a place at his side. After the final battle between the two emperors, she returned to Qing Mountain Town to practice medicine, and was later brought to Yutan City by Xiao, where she continued to stay with him as a trusted friend, turning this bond, forged through life and death yet asking for no title in return, into one of the most poignant and regret-filled emotional threads in the novel. The third to appear is the ultimate mature woman archetype in fantasy web novels, an unforgettable emotional regret for countless fans and widely known as the most iconic married woman figure in Chinese animation, Yunyun. Yunyun is a sect leader of the Yunnan sect in Battle Through the Heavens and the most lingering, unresolved love from Xiaoyan's youth. Their relationship begins with a chance encounter in the mountains, when she is severely injured while hunting a 6th-rank amethyst winged lion king and loses her cultivation. Disguising herself under the name Yunji, she is rescued and carefully tended by Xiaoyan, and through their time together she is moved by his youthful spirit and sincerity, allowing this aloof and powerful sect leader to lower her guard for the first time. As they rely on each other in a mountain cave, affection quietly takes root through their shared days and nights. When her true identity is later revealed, Xiaoyan's father, Xiaozhan, has already been persecuted by elders of the Yunnan sect, placing Xiaoyan and the sect in direct opposition. Caught between her duty to the sect and her personal feelings, Yunyun suffers in constant inner conflict, repeatedly stepping in to save Xiaoyan at critical moments while still being forced to stand against him for the sake of her position. When Xiaoyan storms the Yunnan sect, she raises her sword against him through tears, yet cannot bring herself to strike, watching helplessly as he and the sect fall into complete rupture. When Xiaoyan ultimately destroys the Yunnan sect, she chooses to leave in silence and travel far away to Central Plains, years later to reunite there, with Xiaoyan, now the renowned leader of the Flame Alliance, and Yunyun having relinquished her role as sect leader, her outlook transformed by time. They meet again with a quiet smile, letting go of past grudges as old misunderstandings and regrets slowly fade. Though she loves Xiaoyan deeply, she remains clear-headed and restrained, never demanding a place by his side. After the war between the two emperors comes to an end, Xiaoyan invites her to return to the Jiama Empire, and Yunyun chooses to settle on Yunnan Mountain, staying connected with him as a kindred spirit rather than a lover. This relationship, born of innocence, trapped by opposing loyalties and ending in quiet acceptance, becomes one of the most bittersweet and regret-filled emotional threads in the story. The fourth entry is considered the beauty ceiling of the fantasy web novel world, revered as the world's greatest sword immortal and the dream woman of many online fans, Ling Qingzhu. Ling Qingzhu is the favored prodigy of the Nine Heavens Taiking Palace in Martial Universe, renowned for her peerless beauty and cold, detached temperament, and her connection with Lin Dong begins with an unexpected entanglement. When Lin Dong trespasses into an ancient tomb in search of opportunity, he encounters Ling Qingzhu in the midst of her trial, and through a chain of accidents the two become intimately involved, marking the beginning of an unbreakable bond. At first, Ling Qingzhu views this ordinary young man who disrupted her cultivation with resentment and distance, even once considering eliminating him to prevent future trouble, yet Lin Dong's unyielding will and fearless drive gradually change her perception. As they cross paths time and again, sometimes as allies and sometimes as opponents, she witnesses his growth from an insignificant youth into someone capable of standing shoulder to shoulder with the strongest figures of the great sex, and sees him risk everything to protect his family and the world itself. What began as rejection slowly turns into admiration and eventually blossoms into a deeply buried affection. She secretly aids him in moments of peril and also faces him in battle due to sect loyalties, yet she can never truly sever this bond. Their relationship is not built on grand confessions or constant romance, but is forged through repeated trials of shared danger and survival, growing ever stronger with each ordeal. In the end, when all conflicts have settled, Ling Qingzhu sheds her icy distance and becomes Lin Dong's most steadfast companion, standing beside him as they look down upon the world they fought to protect together. And this love, born of accident and fulfilled through companionship, becomes one of the most moving highlights of the novel. The final appearance belongs to the heroine who represents the purest form of love in fantasy fiction, the woman who sacrificed herself to fulfill her lover's destiny and created one of the genre's most deeply moving iconic scenes, Xiao. Xiao is a 100,000-year soft-bone rabbit soul beast who has taken human form in Soul Land, and she is the love of Tang San's life. Their relationship is pure, passionate, and bound by life and death, running through the entire story from beginning to end. The two meet in childhood, when Tang San is still an inexperienced boy, and Xiao is lively and bright, and they eat, live, and cultivate together. Tang San protects her at every turn, while Xiao grows deeply dependent on him, and this innocent companionship gradually deepens into an unbreakable bond and their greatest source of strength. Later, in order to evade the pursuit of the Spirit Hall, they are forced to separate and undergo their own trials, only to reunite and immediately face another deadly siege. To prevent Tang San from being gravely injured by the Spirit Hall's powerful forces, Xiao makes the resolute choice to sacrifice herself, offering her soul ring and soul bone to Tang San so that he can break through his limits, while she reverts to her original form and falls into a deep slumber. Overcome with grief, Tang San embarks on a long and arduous journey to bring her back to life, enduring countless hardships until he finally gathers all the conditions needed for her resurrection and successfully awakens her. This love, which grows from childhood companionship into a bond sealed by life and death and transcends both race and mortality, becomes one of the most moving expressions of devotion in the entire novel. Which one do you think would make the most perfect wife? Feel free to share your opinion in the comments.